looks like it's connecting. All right, I'm about to check my Twitch. All right. Twitch should be live. YouTube, it should be live. Let me see. All right, bet. It's live on the YouTube. Yep. Live on the YouTube and then live on the Twitch. All right, bet. Ain't worry about that. At least we got one for the score for right now. So shit, I ain't tripping off that. All right, bet. Let me get that. X that out. And boom. Perfect. Perfect. All that's in order. Everything's live. Already got a viewing in there. All right, bet. Y'all already know it's your boy 215 Guy Beats, aka Streets, aka you already know this, producer's new favorite podcast. First interview of the year 2026. It's great to see y'all. Let Me Rap With You podcast. We are back. Y'all already know how we do it. We got a very, very special guest today. I'm not even gonna lie. For those who appreciate real hip hop, if you're already reading the captions, then you already know who I'm talking about. But for those who don't know, no pun intended, if you don't know, if you know, you know. We got one of the top curators in the game in here tonight, coming from South Buffalo, who not only has curated for some of the hottest independent artists that I've heard coming up, but he has also curated with some of the artists that you guys know to love best all over the world, from Westside Gunn to Conway to Benny the Butcher, all of Griselda, all of BSF. We got the one, the only, the legendary Struggle Mike in the building. What's up with you, my guy? I ain't gonna lie. I think that intro was the only thing that was on the spot. I'm not even gonna lie. I was not. I'm usually not good with intros, but I actually hit that one on the head today. But man, I'm not even gonna lie. This is actually an interview for the books. I have been a fan probably since Progress. That's like, yeah, I'm Gary say, yeah, I've been a fan of your work since Progress. I've been tuned in, and to be honest, it's just great to like I said, to just sit here and conversate about a lot of the great things that you've endured and the great things that are coming. First off, before we even get into any of that, congrats on the new project to be continued with Grenzy out now. Make sure everybody streams that on all platforms as well. Make sure y'all tune into that. The freestyle was definitely one of my favorite tracks on there. And that was the one thing I noticed that you were talking about. And what I like about him, it seems like he's very authentic with everything that he talks about. Like it seems like there's no cap in his rap. Like he's telling the people like this is what I went through. This is life. And I appreciate people like that who can actually just be honest with the real and actually just put it out on music and then still go crazy with flows on other songs. So that was something that I was able to appreciate with To Be Continued. So definitely shout out to Grenzy. Hopefully you put in more work, bro. Definitely don't stop. I'll definitely say that to him. But backtracking from everything, it's crazy how I've heard of backtracking and going through a lot of origin stories, but this is definitely going to be one for the books for me. So it's like, how did like where did music even start for you? Just growing up. No, and I could definitely tell because even in every project, you kind of even with the samples and everything, you establish like all those genres, even if it's on a hip hop type basis. I can definitely hear the different, regions and different countries throughout the samples and stuff, and that's great. Cause I was definitely about to ask, with, and honestly, I share this in common too because a lot of people think that I just associate hip hop, but reggae, Latin, Spanish music, I be tuned in. Oh yeah, yeah, that's my dog. We actually just did a session today. We just did a session today. I'm not even gonna lie. One of our best sessions yet today. I'm not even gonna lie. I wanna do a whole project with him. To be honest, bro. Like we've locked in a couple sessions. I like the music that he's doing. I wanna do something different aside from the BSF blueprint that I got. With BSF tone and everything. So Mickey is like that one to get me out of my box. Like we got like beats. I've given this guy beats that nobody has heard before. That you're gonna sit there like he made that. Whoa, So it's like but to be honest, bro. So when it came to the hip hop, what were some of your like first like hip hop like songs that you heard like growing up? Like some of like your favorite ones. Mm-hmm. I just started tuning in the West Coast probably like later on. To be honest, like even when the East and the West Coast was beefing, I was still in the underground, like boot camp clip, um, like Static Selector and all. Like I was really, and I'm right. I'm not even too far. I'm probably like 5 6 hours right here in Philly, but New York literally from all over. It's just like has been a very very big influence in my ears because especially growing up, you had people like shout out to DJ Shay. They had but they had Brotherhood Nation out in Buffalo, and I had people out here in Philly who were affiliated with those type of people. So I was schooled to that type of stuff early. So. Mhm. Oh no, legendary, definitely. And to be honest, so when it came to your early days, when you started getting into music yourself, was it engineering or was it like curating from the beginning? Like what started the no pun intended, what started the progress of Struggle Mike?
Changing room in my clothing store to a vocal booth, and then we set it up from there, and just then we just started going, and then I just started being more attached. Like before Duffel went away, he was on house arrest, and we were helping him record his last album before he went to prison.
Mm.
and then I just like did more and more. Then I got close to Rick and his brother Boone's, um, and then just I was just working, but I kind of like they were their own thing, and I was trying to do my own thing, and then I knew a bunch of other people, and then those people introduced me to more hip hop people that more artists, and then I that's how I got all the other features, like all the ones that weren't Buffalo guys, like Sue Surf and Fred the Godson and Stolly
RJ
and
Payne, you know, shout out to
RJ
Philly's
Payne
own.
and Ito, all those guys like. And I've been rocking with like people like Ito since my very first tape. Like, there's a lot of my tapes. I have a lot of the repeat artists like like a Benny, Rick Hyde, Ito. I try to keep all the camps in there, someone from every camp.
One thing that I will say, and before I get into Etho, because I definitely have to say good things about him. RJ Payne, it's crazy, right? And I wanted to say this for those who are fans of him today. A lot of y'all know him as RJ Payne. I know him as Rayman, or some people will know him as Izzy. Like I said, like day one Rayman fan, RJ Payne fans, they know,
Yeah,
they
like
know.
a lot of people think RJ Payne's new, but he's really not. He's been around, you know.
Man, for me, it's like I probably say it like this, like with RJ. I mean, I love, and honestly, I say it like this. I love the new rebrand that he's doing now. Like he's unstoppable with the shit now. So it's like, but he's always been that consistent from, like, honestly, like I say, like even content. Like he's one of the guys. Like he was like before content was even a thing, or like or what I say, like a fad word. Like before content was a thing, he was already kind of on that with videos, all that type of
Mm.
stuff, freestyles, tapes for days. He been doing that. So it's like, for me, it's like just seeing him where he's at now, like with BSF and everything, is insane. So, but just and then even going back to Ito, Ito is probably, I'm gonna be honest, Ito is probably like in my top 10 of like all the artists that I play today. He's probably in my
Yeah.
top 10, and it's crazy, right? I heard that People, Places, and Things, this new project that he's dropping. I heard that he's actually doing some of the production on this one. So I definitely
Yeah.
can't wait to hear that project. That's going to be
Yeah, he's
insane.
he's definitely a dope producer, definitely dope artist. He's just a dope individual overall. And he's like and he I don't know if he realizes how big everyone thinks like I think he's a big artist. Like, like I don't think he realizes that he's like, I mean, he's got to know that everyone knows who Ito is, and if he doesn't, I don't know why he doesn't. But like, he's humble. He don't really stray out of Rochester too much. But I mean, he's been around since Benny and Special them started too, and he's always been consistent. Everything he does, he works with my buddy Body Bag Ben out in Cali a lot. He does a lot of like everyone always looks forward to when he drops something.
Body Bag Ben is another person who I also know that you work with consistently. I've seen him like from the very beginning drops before BSF. So what's your relationship with him?
Um, I forgot. It was funny. Like I heard one of his songs, and I'm like, damn. I was like, yo, this dude's fire as hell. And I found out he was from Cali because he sounded like a New York dude. So I'm like, man. So then I hit him up. I was like, yo, man, I really like to work with you. And then I put him on a track, and then like, we kind of clicked. I mean, that's the thing about me. I kind of click pretty easy with anybody I meet. Like I'm pretty easy going, and then like everyone, I don't lie. I just kind of tell the truth, or I don't what do the people call it capping and stuff. I don't. I just tell, and if they
It
think
ain't no cap in your work, bro.
yeah, I
Trust
just I
me.
just I just kind of go out there and do what I do, and then if you're a good person and you got good vibes, man, people click with you easier than, people trying to force it or throw money at it or like, oh, look at what I did. And I don't pretend like I know anything because I don't know anything compared to some of these people that have been in the business forever. But yeah, Body Bag is dope, and I always put them together with stuff like it. I put him on a track. It was him, Ito, and Boldy James. That was a fire ass track.
Yeah, where we at? That's one of my favorite songs.
Yeah, that's just that's like, and that was like, I don't think Bully was really blowing up at that point. I think Bully blew up maybe a year after that, but that was a solid track, man. That shit's fire.
You know, it's crazy, like, and just like a history lesson for kids, because like I mean, I've been a Bodie James fan since my first chemistry set, but what really made me a Bodie James fan was actually a feature he did for Asher Roth on Paps and Jazz.
Yeah,
That is actually what made me a fan of him. Like I'm gonna keep it a bean. Paps and Jazz from Asher Roth put me on to a lot of like, I'll say it like this, like Bodie James, ASAP 12 because I was only listening to ASAP Rocky. That made me realize there was like more from the ASAP mob.
yeah,
Um, who else? Action Bronson. I really started paying more attention after Action Bronson did that verse for Asher Rock because Asher is just, and of course that's one of PA's own up here. That's one of my favorite artists. Very creative,
yeah,
especially with the I like the producers that he's worked with. Shout out to Blended Babies. Producers like them. I enjoy that classic soulful like boom bap type sound. So I was very hypnotized to that kind of work. Coming up in the mixtape era. But I want to go back to something that you said. Just being around and not not bragging like, oh, I did this, I did that. When it comes to because and speaking in my recent curating days, because I'm not gonna lie, it's been times that I've curated things, but like it's I don't know, I don't be needing to brag for stuff, so it's like. Unless it's like something that I really, really play like a major part in, then it's like I really don't brag on like a lot of the work that like I've put together or curated. But and even in my recent like days of like curating, just putting stuff together with artists with BSF Tone, Party G, The Humble, and stuff like that. Just working with artists like them. It's just you know I just enjoy the art of of the curation.
yeah,
I don't even care about the like we have social media to post a resume. That's basically everybody's electronic press kit. So,
hmm
but other than that, if it wasn't for the whole social media aspect, I really wouldn't care about the whole bragging rights. I'd just be happy that I was even in the room to put those things together. And
hmm
to me that's what it's about, and that's what I kind of feel like it is when I hear and it does, and I'll say like this, like when I tell people this for whenever they search up struggle mic projects, for me it's not even about the major songs with the BSF niggas or Conway or that. It's even with the projects you did with people like Speedy the Icon,
yeah,
and stuff like that. People like D, and then working with consistent artists like Go to Mars,
hmm
Smoke Booga, because like that's how I kind of got put on to those artists, like Go to Mars, Smoke Booga. I got put on to them through your
yeah,
stuff. So just hearing these consistent artists work with all these type of people, even and I was listening to Low Profile like unconsciously, like
yeah,
beforehand, but I really started paying attention once I heard him on Honor. So it's
yeah.
like
Yeah, he's
it's
he's dope, man. He's another artist. He's been in Buffalo. He's another Buffalo cat, and he's always put out music, and he just like it's crazy because people like him and Jonesy, Big Jonesy, they're great artists, but like you know,
and Jonesy's been consistent for years. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah. It's just they don't like they got other shit going on, so they don't. I mean, music matters to them. You know what I'm saying? But like, you know, they're not they're not trying to oversaturate you with mad music. They're just putting out quality music. You know what I'm saying?
So honestly, two artists that I'm interested in talking about with that you've worked with. Um, First, I'm gonna just go off with the big dog, Rick Hyde.
Yeah,
One of my favorite BSF artists, one of the most consistent BSF artists that I know, probably next to El Camino. Um, what's your relationship with Rick? Because I noticed through even before the BSF, like even before the Black Soprano Family collaborative projects, I noticed that you do a lot of work with Rick. It seems like you guys have a great relationship, and it seems like he's very, very comfortable. Because I know Rick does record himself and he makes his own beats,
Yeah, yeah.
but I know whenever he's not at his own studio, I know 9 times out of 10 he'll probably come to the compound. So what's your relationship with him? Because I see that he has a very good comfortability with coming out there.
Yeah, no, we just I don't know. Like I said, I just kind of click and like Rick and his brother Boone's. I know his brother Boone's. Boone's is on some of my albums too, but he's incarcerated right now, so he doesn't have anything coming out lately. But and then his uncle Sammy and all them, they're just good general people. And like I just like we worked on the first album together, The Great Escape, and then ever since then, like even some of my, I think it was it Honor. There's some one of my albums. I think I got like 4 or 5 tracks. Is damn near a Rick Hyde album. It's like it's
I'm
like
gonna
I got
give
some.
Honor. I think had three. It was. I
Yeah,
think it was. I think it was. If you don't know, it was one. It was one of
yeah,
the. It was
but
one
like
of the. It was one
I
of
thought
them.
about it when we did the one joint. I was thinking about just doing like the best of Rick Hyde and Struggle Mike at one point because I'm like, yo, I got so many tracks and like it just always just worked, and like we were always like when Benny had me come on with BSF and help out with Rick, like management wise, like we were flying everywhere. I was introducing them to people I knew on the West Coast, and we were going out to Denver and doing stuff out. We were doing stuff everywhere, and we just kind of like, clicked, and everything was good,
No,
and
big
just
facts.
kept
And
working.
then the other artists, and I know it's probably only like two, three tracks. I think I've heard him on China Mac because I'm
Oh,
not
China.
because I'm not gonna lie. Like, and I've seen him in content plenty of times. Like, all the time. Like, he's not. He's never been irrelevant on my radar. But music wise, I will
Yeah,
say this: I didn't hear him again music wise until I heard him on your stuff.
yeah.
So how did that even come about anyway?
He was like I linked up with him before I linked up with Benny and them. Like he got out of jail and like and I was a fan already, and then I was like listening to stuff, and I know he just got out, and he was, I don't know if he was in a halfway house or what, but I ended up sending him like a care package with like gear and shit from the store, and then like he posted about it, and then we ended up doing a track, and then we did another track, and I flew him out here to do
That
a song
oh
and a video.
no, that's my
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, him and my boy Spider. Spider's a dope artist too. Like very intelligent dude, very good artist. Like he's like he's in that. He might not be as famous as Benny in that, but he's has that mentality when they get in a room and they hear a beat, he could put something that he could put a verse out right away. Like he could, and Spider's he's always consistent in how he does. He's got a fire joint with Conway too from back in the day.
Mm.
That boy good. It's a fire joint. I think it's him, Conway, and Keith Murray.
No, I still be playing. I still be playing the old freestyles that he used to do back in the day on YouTube. Them
Mm.
joints my shit. So to be honest, when it came to joining BSF, because you've had plenty of work in a catalog beforehand. So
Mm.
when it came to joining BSF and doing projects with them, how did that come about?
I was talking to, I don't know who I eventually I got in a conversation with Benny because like I didn't like I don't bother Benny. Like some people will like blow him up and all that stuff, but like I always kept it like I only hit him up if it was like business orientated. Like
Hmm.
if it was like a feature or a show or something like that. And then I was talking about like going to this one label. He's like, well, why don't you come over here and help out? He was trying to put together a management team where every artist would have their own manager and this, that, the other thing. And he's like, and we'll put some music out together and this, that, the other thing. He's like, well, let's just keep it in the family let's keep it in the town, like keep it all together as one. I was like, all right. And then, I went over there and I started helping with Rick and, and then, and it was doing like it was kind of hard to do what he wanted to do. It's not hard, but like, everyone has their own thoughts of how it should be. Everyone wants to be like a boss or a leader and not listen to the main leader, like no one wants to be a soldier, everyone wants to be the boss, but there could really only be one boss. So you got to listen to your leader.
That's what
and
I be trying to tell people.
and don't get me wrong, I've been a boss in a lot of things I do, but like if I jump over, like if I got my own thing with my own studio, I got my own stuff, I got my own guys, and if I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go over here because I know it's gonna bring me up, overall, which then I could bring up my guys too eventually. So I was like, sure, I'll come over there, and then whatever you want me to do, I'll do. So like, he'd be like, okay, let's get Rick lit, and then me and Rick were going to L.A. I was, hitting up the homies from Underground Hip Hop Blog, and they were connecting us with like Conejo and doing shows out there and all this stuff, and we had it really popping. And then, but all the people that signed up to be managers or whatever, it just didn't work out, and like, people fell off or went their own way, and you know it just, because everyone
Ego,
thinks they're gonna.
egos, and is that's the crazy thing about this game, man.
Yeah,
Egos,
like
and like
and
you
people
said,
don't want to
everybody
give
think they
up.
the boss.
Yeah, everyone don't want to give up numbers or whatever. Like, they're like, yeah, I'm trying to, oh, well, I'm in LA with Rick. I want to do, talk to the guys for No Jumper, do this or that. And they all have their own plans for every individual artist. But like, they wouldn't give up numbers. I'm like, bro, I was like, I don't care. I'm not gonna do. Don't plan on taking your job. I'm good at what I'm doing. I don't need anyone. I don't. I do all my own shit. I don't really need. I just want to get this shit done. If I'm in LA and I got Rick, I don't want to just be sitting around waiting for someone to call or something. I want to get shit done. And then,
Honestly, that's how it is with like, if me and like right now, like once we done this podcast, when me and BSF Tone out in the studio, I'm
Mhm.
literally going down the rabbit hole of opportunities, shows. Right now, we're planning on doing some shit on the Fuego Base tour,
Yeah,
with them and stuff. So it's like, it's just all about like, and like you said, I really got my own shit. Like me personally, I am a geek for tech. I like researching every day. Like literally, I just set up my phone for my whole mobile studio. I make beats on Koala Sampler, which is a mobile app, so I can make beats on my
nice.
phone. Got BandLabs on my phone, and I got Amuse, which is my distributor on my phone. So I literally got a one-stop shop on my studio by myself. I
Yeah,
can literally do everything by myself. But when it comes to getting on the other programs of everything else that I got to handle, whether it's the homies, whether it's Tone, I make sure that it's not about me. It's about what they got going on at the end of the day. Like I'm not trying to step on nobody's shoes and stuff. I just want to make sure that
yeah,
my guys get treated the way they need to be, and that shit gets done. Because at the end of the day, because especially, the next things that I want to talk about, because for me, it's the same thing. Like, as somebody that's a producer and engineer and who curates stuff, you know, every day I'm dealing with great producers. Every day I'm dealing with great engineers. Like you said, every day I'm, in the studio that I work at, it's just, different artists that come through all the time. Sometimes legends, you feel me?
yeah,
So it's a whole process. So for me, honestly, like when it comes to you, and honestly, the next part of curation I want to talk about, because this is the one thing a lot of people forget when it comes to curation. And honestly, shout out to Hybrid Josh, because we was definitely talking about it.
mm,
Um, we was talking about it in Chicago. Sound selection.
yeah,
Sound selection is missing, and I feel like you have that. when it comes to, and shout out to the guys, shout out to Bruno on the street. That's my
Yeah,
dog. And and for those who know, shout out to DJ be on it.
yeah,
Shout out to him. For a lot of people, for those who don't know, because I know a lot of y'all are West Side Gun fans. So for
yeah.
those,
That kitchen light beat I had before West Side, bro.
see, what's crazy. I felt like I was about to get I felt like I was about to get a story from that. I felt like I was, and you literally just said it for me.
Yeah, like I was working on the Honor album, and Benoit DJ, he sent me the beat pack, and I was going through the beats, and I'm like, yeah, man, this would, because like I listen to a beat, I'm like, yo, this is good for this dude, and oh, I can hear this dude and this dude on this beat, or I'm like, oh, this beat's fire, but it would be dope to get a female rapper on this joint, and I heard Kitchen Lights, and I was like, yo, man, this is. I was like, this is a fire ass beat. And then like, I don't who the hell did I think I played it for Rick, and then I played it for someone on the West Coast. I don't know who it was though. And then Smoke, I played it for Smoke out in Boston. And then DJ hit me up. He's like, yo, man, he's like, you can't use that beat. I'll send you some new ones. West Side Gun just picked it up. And I was like, yo, that's fire, bro. Like that's
Now, did he tell
you
you that
know?
Stove guy was on it too?
Nah, he just said that West Side was interested in it and this, that, the other thing. I was like, oh, bro, it's all good, bro. I was like, because I knew, West Side's got a way bigger platform than me, so I was like, I know that's a good look for you, bro. Like, go ahead. I mean, I already had other songs already made with his beats, like, and I was getting his name out there, So same with like Bruno, like I don't know how many songs. I don't know. I think there's like 4 or 5 on my new album that's coming out
Bruno
that
is probably one of
Bruno
the
made.
hardest working producers I know, bro. Like I
Yeah,
can't, I like, bro. I still haven't finished going through the beats that he sent to BSF Tone. I still ain't finished go through them.
yeah,
Still ain't finished. Like it will probably take me another day or two to still go through these beats. That motherfucker works his ass off. I'm not even gonna lie. Shout out to
yeah.
Bruno. But and then honestly, we definitely have to speak on him because Roar X has definitely, produced a couple of classics that people like
Oh
too.
yeah,
I feel like we should speak on them too. Cause honestly, I feel like Roar X a lot, like we don't, in the producer community, especially for those who appreciate the hip hop era. I feel like we don't speak on Raw X enough. We speak on DJ because Kitchen Lights. I'm pretty sure anybody can
yeah,
go up and speak on him. But Raw X is definitely produced some of the classics, especially on your projects. Like, oh my God, some of those bangers. They don't even
yeah,
know that Roar was on some of those classics. So
yeah.
honestly,
He's
let's
done.
speak on him.
Nah, he's dope, man. He's originally from Sinaloa, I'm pretty sure. I met him in Cali, and then he moved out to Vegas. And me and him are like, if I'm in LA or Vegas, I hit him up and like, yo, I'm about to be in LA this week. Come by. We're probably gonna do a studio. We usually go to this joint in North Hollywood. I was like, just come meet us there. Or if I'm in Vegas, I'm like, yo, let's get a studio. We'll do some shit, and we always do some stuff. We always do music. And he works with Sky Zoo a lot too. And then I got an album coming out with him too. I got I think 11 tracks. It's all produced by him.
Mm.
It's with my artists. So we did 11 tracks. I'm pretty sure it's 11. It might be 9 and there might be skits in there. But the let's say 9 tracks. 8 of them are like solo tracks with like each beat is one of my artists, or I might have 2 artists on there, but there's
Mm-hmm.
like one main artist. And like Heist the Prophet, he's got a fire ass joint coming out. We already did the video for it. And the main single for that joint, I got 9 dudes rapping on it. 9 of my artists are in there, and we already shot the video for that, and that's ready to come out. And the whole album's produced by Roar X. So it's like
That's
like
insane.
the single coming out is called One. It comes out before the album, and it's got 9 artists on it. Like who do I got? I got Speedy the Icon. I got Blaze Merch. I got Heist the Prophet, Mark II. I have Mike Major. I have Just Classic, Grenzy, Spider to God, and King Dagger. I got all on the song, and we filmed it in like a boxing ring setting. So Like everyone comes in, has like a little intro, and they're in the boxing ring and they're rapping, and everyone's behind them, and so on and so forth. It's pretty dope.
No,
So like, because I
that's
felt like
crazy.
he needed more credit. Like he puts out music consistently, but I felt like he needed more like of his own shit out there, like like his own like vibe, and then so it'll come out. It'll say Struggle Mike and Roar X. The album's called Mastered Keys. That comes out in
Oh, trust me,
February.
I got that post saved in my pen, bro. I'm waiting.
The So
I'm waiting.
we got a lot of stuff. I'm trying to get this West Coast album with my West Coast artists put together too, real quick. I think I got seven artists all together. That like my main West Coast is the Breed Mafia, and those guys are like an all in one. They do their own videos, they produce their own music, they engineer their own music. They're solo
Hmm.
artists and a group, and then they got they're a bunch of homies, a bunch of different artists from San Diego that I know. So I got that album coming out too. My boy Aaron, which is their uncle, helped me like curate that one, get everyone together. So
No, I'm not even gonna lie. I definitely told a couple of my homies when we come out Buffalo, we gotta come out to the compound, which is honestly the next thing that I want to speak on because a lot of people don't
yeah,
know. A lot of people don't know, and you know, a lot y'all know I love podcasting. This is where I really get in my bag with stuff. But honestly, when I tell, because I know a lot of people when they see the compound, it's not just a studio, you guys. The compound to me, honestly, in my opinion, I feel like the compound is a platform and a culture to this point, and I'm going to explain why. Because not only we can we I've already explained we done had a lot of legendary artists that done been in that studio, but a lot of people don't realize like some of the early videos, like some of the early BSF Griselda videos that people see, they're shot like right on the same strip as the compound. And then
yeah,
not only are you guys not only do you guys have a studio, but you guys are into merch. And then also you guys have the barbershop right next door. Am I correct? And then y'all got
yeah.
this, and then the smoke shop on the other side, right?
Yeah, well, we had so the struggle like it kind of like when I had a car shop, it was kind of like the same idea. Like I would rent a big garage, and everyone could work out of there if like because not everyone has the means
Keep that
to
idea because
go.
that's one of my goals right there is to have a garage. So keep that idea in
Yeah,
mind.
yeah. So no one ever, not a lot of people have the means to just go out and buy a building or lease a building out. So I would lease a building out. I would make a paint booth in there, and then people would come in and rent sections from me, and I would do my work. They would do their own work, but we would be a collective. So when I opened a clothing store and I started adding the barber shop and the studio, at the first location it was very small, like probably the size of like a good sized dining room, and we all fit in there somehow. I don't know how we did it, but we did. And then one day we're like, we need a bigger location, so we moved down the street to this plaza, and we made a bigger location. So the very back was a studio. Then there was four rooms, which one ended up being a tattoo shop, one was a podcast area, one was an office, and then the other one, a girl started doing hair out of it. Eventually, the tattoo guy left because he actually got a name for himself and needed his own space. So he moved out. The girl needed more space, so she took over both rooms. So it was a collective that consistently moved around. Like we had a video editing room. Our buddy Ken Journey had an editing room in there one time. And then the one side of the front area was a barber shop, and then the other side was merch, and we had a smoke shop. But when the gray market started falling apart, we got rid of that. But and then we started using the front for events, because we would throw parties or like King Dagger, he runs Untouched Talents. He does these like he would do like an open mic and then he'd do like a showcase, probably like quarterly, but he would do open mics every month and then a quarterly showcase. But then it got to the point where we weren't really using it as much as we used to. And it's funny because I just dumped a ton of money into it. And we ended up moving down the street to a smaller location. Now in there we got Mike Major in the front. When you first walk in, is a little barber shop, and Mike Major is the barber, but he's also a producer and an
Oh no,
engineer
I've
and
definitely
an
been.
artist. Yeah,
I didn't know he was a producer. I've definitely been listening to his music, but I did not
yeah.
know he was a producer.
Yeah, and then we got the clothing area, pool table, lounge type thing, so people could mess around. We got these new people in there that are selling. We have our own merch, but then they have like they try to find one-off pieces and sell them. Like I don't want to call them resellers, but they kind of are. But they got some good stuff in there. And then we had some offices, and then we have a podcast room that my boy Drew does a bunch of podcasts and advertising, marketing for companies, and he shot most of the videos for our upcoming releases, and then we have our studio area, and and then Speedy's like the main engineer, and Spider engineers out of there sometimes, and so
So
but
speaking
yeah,
so speaking of project, because I wanted to save the best for last because I'm very excited about it. Fuentes.
okay. You're talking about my last one, my one that didn't come out yet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, it's called Morta. Morta means
Oh,
death.
oh, Morta. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's just, because like a lot of things changed over the past year or so in my life, so like I don't want to say I'm never gonna do music again, but like at this point in time, after that gets released, there might not be something from me for a while. My artist will release, but I think I'm gonna take a step back and try and focus on more on my artist. Like I always focus on them, I always do
As
stuff,
you
but
should.
like we like I don't know. I just wanted to put out something big again, and I got everyone on there like
You
usual.
know what it is like, and it's good that you've done your run with the majors you've done it with, but like it's like your artist, it's their time.
Yeah.
It's their
So
time. Like like it's as simple as that. Because it's just how we look at it. That's how like even some of my guys who I was talking to one of my guys yesterday about, because I told him like, bro, I'm just as concerned as everybody else, and with you got I got the same concern. So it's like we gotta, cause it's everybody's time. Everybody
yeah,
may drop differently, but everybody about to have their time.
yeah. I got a lot of people on there. I got Party G on there. I got him on a solo. It's funny because originally it was supposed to be Party G. It was supposed to be Party G, Red McFly from French Montana's camp, and who else was? Oh, this what was it supposed to be? There was supposed to be someone else on there, but what ended up happening is like people got busy. Red McFly got busy, so I never got his verse. And then I think was it Lesso? It might even been you know what? It might have been Tone. It might have been BSF Tone. We're all supposed to be on the same track, and then like everyone sent me their shit already, and by that time I didn't know if people were sending it, so I already shot the video with Party G when he was in town. So then we friggin' then I had a idea of doing like a mixed joint, but then we found a Bruno sent me another beat that matched the BPMs matched, so we moved it. So it's Miles A. He's an artist out of Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
Um, BSF Tone, and then Mike Major. I put him on this. We switched the beat up.
Oh,
Fucking
you
sounds
talking about
fire.
the John I sent you, Mike Major gonna be on that
Yeah,
too?
yeah,
That's about to
yeah.
be a real good John then bet.
Yeah, so it's got Miles A. Miles A. He's been putting out some. He's got a song coming out with Benny. He put out a song with Boldy James. He put out a song with 38 Special. He's a fire artist.
And that
But I got
and that's great because honestly, I've been like hearing BSF Tone with some great artists is honestly like I said, that's like a real big goal with me this year because I already know like that stuff like he is a one man army that he can literally out
no,
rap damn near anybody I know, but collaborating with great artists is a very important matter to me, especially for the branding because especially once I'm old school. I look at like like you gotta be willing to open work with various artists because that helps the catalog because even like and I tell people straight up like catalog is important like even with Rick because like you said as much as you and Rick work like and this is just off of the Spotify alone. I looked at his the feature section for his catalog. He has like he's featured on over 40 projects.
yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have like 250 projects, like 250 tracks to my name with different people I've worked with. But like this album is gonna be it's fire because I moved over to Lobel Music Group with Steve Lobel and them,
Mm-hmm.
and they're my distro now. And I'm just trying to make sure my artists get a better fighting chance. And Steve and my buddy Greg are partners, and I just felt it was the best move for me, and they take care of me no matter what. And we put this one song together that's got Benny on it, and then it's got it's holy. You know him. He's
Mm-hmm.
been
Yeah.
I got him on there, and then we got this girl. She's Korean. She's African American and Korean. She raps in Korean and English. Her name's Moon Privates. She's pretty fire. And then we got like Fuego Bass with Mark Ford from Cali. I got Low Pro and Rick Hyde together on a song. We already shot that video. I got another artist out of Buffalo called Lesso or D Less. We already shot that video. I just had him. He's out in Cali for Grammy weekend, and he just went over and did a mic session at Underground Hip Hop Blog. I mean, we got everybody on there. Chop the Father from Texas is on there with my boy Speedy and Ballistic Man from here. I mean, there's just. I mean, I'm trying to think who else is on there. Everyone's on there. I got
Mm-hmm.
OT the Real on there with 067 Red. Sam Buck and Thousand Words been really promoting the shit out of him. He's
Yeah,
another
no
Cali
facts.
artist.
Shout out to Sam Bucked Up. He just promoted a unreleased single me and my guys putting out that I produced. I ain't even drop it yet, but I had sent it to Sam and I ain't even shit. God surprised.
Yeah.
God surprised. Shout out to him and Ride or Die. Um, to be honest, like just seeing all that and like I said, just 250 songs. Like sheesh, like that's a and like I said, it's just hella artists that and even like the ones that people don't know about yet once they know about them they're just going to be tapped in
Yeah.
forever because like that's just that's just what I see. So along with that and then with the Struggle Cartel brand, so just with the brand itself, the merch and the label, what's your goal for that for this year for 2026?
I think we're gonna do like three more drops in the next couple months. I believe we're just doing like the different. I don't want to call them narco saints, but like we just dropped the this one with Saint Judah Tadeo on the back, and we're gonna do a Saint Martha one, and then we're gonna do a Malverde one, and then a Virgin Mary one. But like I mean, I've always had the struggle merch. It's just I don't think like when I first dropped it, I don't think people got the idea. So I dropped these shirts in the beginning, and every shirt had like it was a storyline. So if you put the shirts together, they all came with stickers, and you could. And the original idea was to make these comic books that you would get the merch, get the sticker, put it in the book, and eventually it would tell you a story. And so there was two main characters. There's the struggle bear. We have like this bear, and then there was the Pyrex man before Benny came out with his song. But so and the bear represented low income areas like that we all grew up in. And the Pyrex, we all know what the Pyrex is used for, but the Pyrex actually was the CIA. And the shirts would go, the storyline would go off to show like how they introduce the drugs into the neighborhood to keep them down, and then eventually the main character, the bear, goes to prison. He does. In the beginning, he's starting out. Then he gets really big, makes money. Then he goes to prison, and then while he's in prison, the young people come up, and and every album was like that. The Great Escape was our first one, and if you look in the reels of the mixtape, it looks like the hood, because back in the day when you were a kid, everything that was going on in your neighborhood, to get away, you put on a mixtape, put on your shit, the Great Escape. You're escaping from your area, by music. And then the second one was the wall. That's when we started introducing the West Coast, and the wall separated, Mexico and U.S. And then when he went to prison, we did next up, which was all the young cats. And all the young cats, they don't see what happened. They just see that this dude made all this money. So that's what they want. They want the jewelry, the cars, the houses, the trips, you know, and that's what the album was about. And then the guy comes out of prison, he reforms, you know, starts a business, you know, starts helping out the neighborhood that he helped, destroy, you know, because of drugs. And then that was progress, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
that's how. So it was all, and we had shirts that did different things. You know, we had a money laundering shirt. You know, we had like the bear visiting Pablo Escobar at Hacienda Nepalese, and like all these different shirts that like, but people weren't. I think it was too much for people to comprehend, you know. So that's when we just started doing the cartel stuff. And to be honest, most of the people on the West Coast buy this stuff up like crazy, you know, because
Facts.
just the, and it is a dope, you know, it doesn't mean nothing, you know, like it just, you know, like the cartel like forms from different neighborhoods banding together, you know what I'm saying, to form one group, you know, and that's basically if if we're gonna take back our neighborhoods the way we should be looking out for our neighborhoods,
Mm-hmm.
that's what we got to do. You know what I'm saying? And
Facts.
I don't know if it'll ever happen. You know, because like I said, everyone wants to be a boss, no one wants to be a soldier. Someone's got to take the lead, and some people aren't meant to be leaders, even though they might think they are. They're not. You know, sometimes you just got to sit down and be a soldier, bro.
No, facts, and trust me, like I'm one person that definitely don't mind being a soldier when it comes to these situations. So it's like I definitely feel that. So the I usually like to do this with every episode of the podcast. So for all the artists and producers out there who will be watching this, who are now understanding how curation works and how they can get their music involved with people. If there's one gem that you would give them for 2026, what would you tell them?
If they're gonna put music together, whether they're an artist or a producer or someone that's trying to be just like a curator, I mean, don't jump on a hype, like if you're and like unfortunately you have to pay to play. Unfortunately, that's just the name of the game. You know what I'm saying? Because these labels aren't paying the artists, even the bigger artists. So that's why people are like, damn, they want this much for a feature. Okay, well if this guy and I sell it, let's say Benny wants 25,000 for a feature. If you can't afford it, don't don't break your back, especially if you don't have a name. You
I
could
mean,
probably take.
and that's respectfully because, and then the one thing is people got to understand, like, when you paying for that feature, like the market, especially like I study analytics.
Yeah.
You're gonna get that back in market features. You never know. It could be any
Yeah,
brand or like
if you're
people
spending
people
that,
people don't think of the bigger picture when they're making the investment, because like you said, the labels, they're not paying
yeah,
for it. But the one thing is, when the labels don't pay for it, you know
yeah,
you'll start it, like, and here's the thing, once people get out the contracts and stuff like that, you'll start understanding how to move, how to run independently. So it's like it's a pro and a con to it. Like,
yeah.
and then personally for me, when I look at the investment, it's like content. But like we're in a new era. Like, and
Mhm.
I'm 32, so it's like I'm kind of in like the young OG era. But like still, technology has changed.
Yeah. Well, a lot of thing is like people will buy that $25,000 feature and not put anything behind it. If you're paying anything more than $1,000 for a feature, make sure you put the same amount into marketing. Make sure you get a visual, and all that. Because like if you pay someone 20,000, 25,000 for a feature, and you just put it out there thinking you're gonna get a gazillion streams because these people are fans, that's not how it works. You got to market it. You got to. There's so much money you got to spend to just. But you could do like if your budget is 5 grand, shop around. Find artists that are blown up or that are could give you a deal. Someone that's gonna let you collab post, someone that's gonna do the visual with you. Instead of just going and like because everyone's out there trying to make money too. Unfortunately, try and talk to the artist directly instead of talking to the people around them because everyone's trying to fucking make a quick dollar and all that stuff. Like this game it's a hard game, and I just like playing because I like being part of it. I like the outcome. I like being part of a team. Like being with BSF. Like if we went somewhere, like everybody can't go to her. You know, like I got my own hotel room and shit like that. I didn't stay in the Airbnb with all them. I got my own rental. I like to be like my own person. And then if they need, oh man, we got too many people in the tour bus, you got room. Yeah, I do. I got this big ass, expedition. So I could fit 4 or 5 guys in here. So it'd be like the Everybody Can't Go tour. Like it was like me, bass, Rick Hyde, Hybrid Josh, my cameraman. Who else was in there? Byers Murray was in there, and that alleviates stress from the rest of the tour, and I would just make sure, okay, I'm Rick's manager. I got everyone. I got to make sure they're here on time, and I would make sure everyone was there on time. Like, I was a soldier. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's and then you get better connections too, going out of state. Like if you're producing in Philly, yeah, I mean New York's not far, Boston's not far. If you're making music, go out to those joints, try and
New
find
York
a,
is my second home. I love New York.
yeah,
Bro. I can't wait until I get racked up and get me a
yeah.
nice spot out Manhattan.
You
I'm
just
telling you
you
right
just go
now.
out there and just, dude, make it like leaving your area of interest will help out your music too. Like and I've got more, to be honest. If you from the hood, like me, like, and I knew bad people from other hoods. Like that's how I got a lot of features. I'd be like, people like, yo, man, you making another tape? Yo, my boy is homies with Beanie Siegel, bro. He got you. I'm like, all right. My boy. I get a phone call from Harlem, and not from my boy that lives out in Harlem, and he's like, yo, my boy wants to talk to you. And it was Fred the Godson, God rest his soul. He's like,
Mm-hmm.
yo, he said you're good peoples, man. Yo, send me something. So I'd send him a beat, and he just jump on it. MC8, my boy is, MC8's brother's homie. So like they're like, yo, I get you MC8, man. Just you ain't gotta throw nothing, man. He just gonna jump on it. I'm like, all right, word, let's do it. And like that's finagling. Connections will help you a lot more than money will.
It's kind of funny how you explain, like how you said everything in sequence, because the Everybody Can't Go tour is kind of, so it's like, and I've been studying BSF, Griselda, been listening to the music way before the tour, but that was kind of like what I would say the start chain reaction of everything that's to now, because first off, once I knew he was on the tour, like a month and a half ahead of time, I paid for the meet and greet ticket,
Yeah.
and and for a bonus, because I got there early. I was like the first second in line, and my for well, he's not my photographer, but like he's my photographer homie, and he had got there early, so we had just kicked it. And ironically, right before Benny and them pulled up, uh, Bodie Double D and them, they had pulled up, and Chase pulled up. Shout out to Chase Fetty.
Okay.
Chase, because this
Chase
is,
my homie too.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, this was the Philly show where Chase had popped out and shit. So we all just started bulling for real, like with Chase. Like he just started going, like he just started bro, with Chase. I'm gonna tell you one thing, and this is why Chase is going to last forever as an artist, because like he has the flow, he has the bars, he has that gritty charisma when he brings that shit on the fucking beat. But
Yeah.
when you meet him, and it's like, don't don't take kindness for weakness, don't underestimate no character. But when you meet him, it's like, bro, he's one of the most funniest, most humble, like I say it like this, like out of all the artists that, like, especially like in this like type of like music that we're in, Chase is probably one of the most realest, like funniest, humble artists that like I've met, probably,
Yeah.
like to
Definitely
like to
too.
this like to this day. And I'm gonna keep it a being, I haven't seen Chase probably since that tour,
Yeah.
but to this day I'm gonna keep it a being, like it's not, he a real authentic homie. Like he real authentic. Like it's not too many that, to any artists or producers out there that do come across him. It's not too many that you're gonna meet like that.
Yeah.
Shout out to Bodie too. And this is the crazy story about Bodie. I think I might have said this on the podcast episode, but this is the perfect episode to even say it. So, you know, a way that, in me, like I'm a connoisseur when it comes to cannabis. So, I be tapped in with all the top brands, stuff like that, and this, that, and the third. So literally, right the day of the tour, I had literally just seen my I had literally just came back in town. I just seen my big brother, and fucking he gave me some new drops. I said, you know what, bro? I ain't even gonna smoke these. I'm actually gonna I'm gonna get these to Benny and Bodie, and then shout out to my guy. Shout out to the legendary Frankie Crutches.
Okay.
He had a strand too that he wanted me to give to Benny too. So I had just went to go make the pickups, and then that's how I made my name with a lot of rappers because like I always like if you was one of my favorite artists and you came in the city and I had meet and greet tickets, come on, like
He's getting smoked. Yeah, and that's man. You know, and
bro,
those
I
guys like
gave Bodie a quarter, right? I gave this
yeah.
nigga a quarter, some permanent marker, right,
Oh yeah,
bro?
nice, nice
When I
strain.
so look, and first and like this was at the end game, like literally at the end of the night, and then the show went and the show was great. That Philly show was off the rock, especially when OT came out. That shit was crazy. And
Hmm.
then meeting Benny, and it's crazy. Like I said, like storyline with all this shit. Like I told Benny straight up when I shook his hand, I'm like, bro, I'm gonna see you again.
Hmm.
Next thing you
Oh
know,
yeah,
last year, Money and Power tour with BSF Tone.
nice.
But when I left out, I was getting in my Uber to go back to the studio. Why did I see the permanent marker bag on the floor empty? I'm like, this nigga smoked the whole eighth during the show.
Yeah. Oh hell yeah, they would. They. I've.
Now look, trust me, I realized that for the first time, like, oh, okay, they smoke like that. Like I didn't think rappers really smoke that crazy until like I literally seen that shit in the Uber. I was looking on the floor. I'm like, this nigga done smoked the whole eighth, bro. The show was only what? The show started from 8, ended at
Hmm.
11, bro. Bro, it was only 3 hours.
Yeah.
That's a gram every hour plus a point five on one of them. Like, that's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
I'm thinking. I say it like this: niggas must they must really didn't have niggas must have Philly. Make sure y'all get niggas right next time, man. Come on, man. That's all I'm gonna say, man. I can't be the only one. Like that's crazy. But I'm not even gonna lie, bro. I cannot wait for these projects to come out. Especially like honestly, I'm Roar X's project is probably the project that I'm waiting for the most, to be honest.
Yeah,
But
that's fine.
I can't wait for the stuff to come out. And like I said, I told my guys we gonna come out Buffalo. We gonna come out to the compound. We gotta work personally. We gotta really get some shit
Yeah, just
going.
hit me up. We'll be there.
You already know. And to anybody else that's in the New York area right now, if you got a car, go out to Southern Buffalo, hit up Mike, go to the compound, go get you some great quality work done. I promise you're gonna go back. So I'm just gotta let y'all know right now. I know there's plenty of legends that have been in there, and I know a couple of great artists who have been in there too. Like I said, shout out to RJ. Like we can go there.
Yeah, it'll be more.
It's gonna be plenty more, definitely. Me and my guys, we definitely gonna be in there too. But y'all already know it's your boy 215 Got Beats, aka Streets, aka you already know this producer's new favorite podcast. Struggling Mike, Black Soprano Family Zone, one of the greatest curator in the East Coast of New York right now, putting out like I'm telling y'all, it's it's about to be. I'm gonna keep it a beam, bro. Like curating wise, right now in the East Coast, like it's you and Flea Lord right now.
Yeah.
Like you and Flea Lord are like y'all got it with this curating shit right now. Cause I already know Flea Lord's cooking too. So like I can't wait to see what everybody got cooking, bro. Until then, bro, and I'm definitely gonna send some stuff out to you at a point too when I get some time. So you feel me?
All right, man. I got you.
You already know. And let me rap with you. We out of here.
All right, bro.
Be safe, my bro.
Stay blessed.